Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown and 205 Live results for the week of July 16th, 2019. Birthdays. Bobby Lashley, July 16th, birthdays. Bobby Lashley, 1976. Excalibur, 1980. July 17th, birthdays. Daphne from WCW. The Screen Queen, 1975. Mike Knox, 1978. Mojo Rawley, 1986. And on to the wrestling news. It was believed that WWE SmackDown Executive Director Eric Bischoff would be working with his new behind-the-scenes role, beginning with tonight on Tuesday night, post-Extreme Rules edition of the show. But Dave Meltzer reported on F4W Online that Bischoff is not backstage for the tapings from Worcester, Massachusetts. It was also noted that Bischoff had zero impact on SmackDown script, and he was not involved in any of the creative meetings for the show. But Paul Heyman was on the show. Wonder if he had any doing both shows right now. Bischoff moved his family across the country to connect this past week to be closer to WWE headquarters. It's been reported that he and new Raw Executive Director Paul Heyman would start with fairly clean, creative slates coming out of Extreme Rules. Bray Wyatt finally returned to Raw on this week's show from Monday from Long Island, New York, after months of his Firefly Funhouse segments. Airing, Wyatt attacked Finn Balor and hit him with his sister Abigail right after Balor's loss to Samoa Joe. Wyatt took to Twitter after Monday Night Raw and made two comments. First said, "Worth the hurt, worth the healing." Wyatt then wrote, "I'll forgive you when it's done, brother. The sickness is gone. We owe them. And yowie wowie, is it going to be a spectacle?" Wyatt's partner, JoJo Offerman, who has been away from her job as WWE ring announcer due to giving birth to her first child together a few months back, also tweeted reaction to Wyatt's return. "Chills. Smiling face with heart eyes emoji." She wrote, she added, "So proud." Heart emoji. You can see the related tweets here at this link with a video from the segment as well. New promos for the upcoming WWE Raw Reunion special have revealed under another set of WWE Hall of Famers, legends, and former superstars from the big event. The Godfather, Sid Vicious, Mick Foley, Road Dogg, B.G. James, Mark Henry, Rikishi, the Damn Man, Ron Simmons, and Kelly Kelly, a.k.a. Barbie Blake. The Raw Reunion special will take place from next Monday, July 22nd, from the Amalie Arena from Tampa, Florida. WWE is billing as the biggest WWE reunion in history. And it's rumored more than 35 or more names being booked. So far, here's the names that are advertised. Booker T, Christian, Devon Dudley, DX of Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Eric Bischoff, Hulk Hogan, Hurricane Shane Helms, Jerry the King Lawler, Jimmy the Master South Hart, Kelly Kelly, Diesel, Kevin Nash, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry, Mick Foley, who just recently appeared on AEW programming. Woo! Ric Flair, Rikishi, with his stink face, Road Dogg. Oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. Ron Simmons, Santino Marella, Scott Hall. Hey, yo. Sean Waltman, X-Pac. Sergeant Slaughter, Shawn Michaels, Sid Vicious, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ted DiBiase Sr., the $1 Million Man. The Boogeyman, who's coming to get you, and the Godfather with his hose. Don't know if the hose is going to be there, but he's going to be there. Former WWE, WCW, AJPW, and AWA star, the Berserker, John Nord, was sentenced to 5 years of probation on Monday in Hennepin County, Minnesota courtroom, according to the Star Tribune. Prosecutor argued that Nord should be sent to prison for more than 4 years because he represents a significant public safety threat because he continued to drive. Nord and his lawyer said he is currently in treatment and will spend the rest of his life in assisted living facilities. Hennepin County District Judge Jay Quam said that the sentencing decision was a difficult one. He told Nord, life has handed you a lot of special things. On the other hand, it has taken away a lot of what makes you you. Quam then placed Nord on 5 years of probation under the condition that he stay in restrictive housing and do no driving whatsoever. Nord was ordered to come back to court in 3 months to give an update on how he's doing. The judge said he wants to see Nord doing well. Nord has been arrested 7 times for driving under the influence of drugs, mostly painkillers. The Star Tribune noted that the 59-year-old has ALS and uses a wheelchair these days and has become a frequent abuser of prescription painkillers in recent years to cope with the damage to his body and brain from his pro wrestling career. His most recent arrest came on March 23rd of this year. He was charged with felony driving while intoxicated, operating a car under the influence of a controlled substance, and misdemeanor driving while license revoked. WWE is hosting their second ever tryouts camp in Shanghai, China this week. There are 30 men and 10 women participating in the camp from mainland China, Hong Kong, Japan, Philippines, Singapore, Taiwan, and Thailand. The tryouts are being ran by WWE Performance Center head coach Matt Bloom, Coach Robbie Brookside. If you're not familiar with him, that's Robbie E. from Impact Wrestling. Coach Johnny Moss and Coach Serena Deeb. WWE NXT superstars Zia Lee, Boa, Rocky, Reina Gonzalez, and Kona Reeves are also there helping out, as well as referee Jessica Carr. Notable talents participating in the camp include Maju Jing from Pro Wrestling Noah, boxer Ping Ku, Tajiri protege Jiro Kuroshio, We Love Wrestling's Gao Yang, Alexa Lee, Andrew Tang, and Vernus Crystal Gabriel, who was originally announced for the 2018 Mae Young Classic but then removed from the listing. The man who used to deliver bad news to WWE each week, Wade Barrett. I've got some bad news for you. Bad News Barrett was a guest on Inside the Ropes. The Barrett took some time during the discussion to give some backstage details about how the current WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar carries himself behind the scenes. Brock was a strange one because, first of all, he never really did the live events, Barrett began. And I know you guys mainly see the stuff that's on TV, which is Raw and SmackDown. But on top of that, we're doing 4, 5, 6, if we're on tour, events per week. So the majority of wrestling we do, and the majority of time that we spend around WWE and the locker room. And the guys that are on, the guys is on the non-TV stuff, also known as the house shows. So he wasn't really at any of those live events, and even the TV stuff. He'd be there like 10 weeks a year, or something like that. He just wouldn't be around very often. When he did to get to the arenas, he would have his own private bus that he would kind of hang out on, and maybe you'd see him for like 30 minutes before his match, or went out for his promo segment, or whatever. But he didn't really hang around with the guys too much. Always a cool guy, but he very much kept to himself. Barrett was able to provide one story about Brock Lesnar while they were both mutually active in WWE. He noted how starstruck the patrons of a certain Gold's Gym were to see Brock in person. In my entire time on the road, I saw Brock in the gym once. We were all working out at the Gold's Gym somewhere in Texas, and there was a bunch of us there prior to the show, Barrett explained. It was midday or something like that. We had to be at the arena by 2 p.m. So we're working out, and our plan is to finish up about 1:15. Hit the shower up quickly, put our suits on, and get in the car, and drive to the building so we can get there for 2 o'clock. Right about 1 o'clock, we were all finishing up for our workouts. I'm there. I think Heath Slater is there. Justin Gabriel is there. Fandango, Bray Wyatt. As I said, 7 or 8 were just regular superstars there. Just as we were about to finish up, Brock walks into the gym. I never see him walk into a gym before, and everyone working out in the gym stops what they're doing. But I'm not talking about wrestlers here. I'm talking about all these other people here packed out in this Gold's Gym. They just stop what they're doing and stare at this animal who just walked in. What is that? So he said. Barret will go on to talk about a superfan that essentially stalked Brock around this particular gym that they were visiting in Texas. This led to an intense confrontation in the gym's locker room that would ultimately inspire a running joke in WWE for years to come. Now, obviously, in gyms, you get a lot of big bodybuilders and steroid guys and tough-looking guys and stuff like that. But nobody has ever seen anything like Brock, Barret said. People either knew him because he was in WWE, or they knew him because he was this UFC heavyweight champion, or they were just looking at him like they had never seen a human being that looked like that before. But everyone was staring at him. We didn't think too much of it, and we go, "Hey, Brock, how are you doing?" And we leave and head off to the showers, and he goes off and starts working out. Presumably, we're finishing up in the changing room. We're all putting our suits on and stuff, doing up our shirts, and then all of a sudden Brock walks into the changing room, and he looks up at us and goes, "This kid keeps following me around, and every time I go to a machine, he's next to me. Every time I go to a bench, he always comes and sits next to me. He's really pissing me off." We go, "Okay, see you at the building, Brock, whatever." And then Brock walks past us and goes into the back room, the toilet area of the changing room. He goes around the corner. Anyway, we're finishing up, and then suddenly, this nervous 16-year-old nerdy kid pops his head around the locker room. Barret continues, "Sometimes we get that, and people are excited because they've seen us on TV, and we're wrestlers for WWE, and they want to meet us. This kid did not care about us at all. It was like we're invisible. He's sneaking around, he's looking past us, and then suddenly he spots the toilet area where he was just around, which was just around the corner from where we're at. This kid kind of stumbles past, walks around the corner, and disappears. A small part of me wanted to tell this kid, no, this isn't the day. But another part of my brain thought, this boy has to learn. So I didn't say anything. I just kind of looked at Bray Wyatt, and he kind of shrugged his shoulders. We all knew that something bad was about to happen. We're just waiting. We're frozen in time. Suddenly, all you hear is, "Are you trying to see my F word, penis?" Followed by this terrified 16-year-old running out of there, through the door, never to be seen again. Barret tried to justify the kid's behavior, explaining how overwhelming it must have been to see a celebrity you admire so much walking around your local gym. He noted how amused he was at Brock's word choice in the heat of the moment. Now, I kind of guess what happened there was this kid, nobody intentionally tries to see Brock's penis, but this kid was 16 years old. For him, Superman had just walked in there. He just wanted to absorb the aura of Brock Lesnar and experience what it was like to be in the same room as him. And he was just overwhelmed by this monster of a man being around him. He just wanted to be as close to him as he could in some way. But the thing that always makes me laugh about the situation was Brock. In his anger, "Are you trying to see my effing penis?" It's like he got really polite at the very end and just realized that this is some poor 16-year-old. He didn't say, "Are you trying to see my D word?" or whatever would come out naturally. Just the fact that he said penis made the story for me. And that subsequently made a quote and running joke in the locker room of WWE. If you're using the bathroom and Bo Dallas walks around the corner, "Are you trying to see my penis?" or whatever it was. That was his thing. It looks like the first challenger for the WWE Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura might be Ali. A backstage segment aired on this week's SmackDown that saw Ali confront Nakamura and can be seen at this link. WWE teased another new title feud on this week's SmackDown with Randy Orton versus WWE Champion Kofi Kingston. SmackDown saw Orton, Samoa Joe, and Elias defeat the New Day in six-man action. Kofi took the pin from Orton to end the match. Ember Moon versus SmackDown's Women's Champion Bayley is now official for WWE SummerSlam as well. The match was made after Moon and Bayley teamed up on SmackDown episode to defeat Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Bayley asked Moon if she would be up for a title match during their post-match interview, which Moon accepted. 2019 SummerSlam pay-per-view will take place on August 11th from the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It was previously announced that the new episodes of the first season of Ms. and Mrs. would begin airing Tuesday, August the 6th on USA Network after WWE SmackDown goes off the air that night. Plans have now changed. A new episode will now begin airing next Tuesday, 2 weeks prior to that, July 23rd at 10 p.m. And this is season 2 of the hit docu-series with The Miz and Maurice will begin airing 2020. This is still 2019. Dark match before SmackDown from the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts saw Heavy Machinery defeat the B-Team with a compactor. Correspondent noted that Otis hit the Caterpillar and were very over with the crowd. SmackDown opened up with a look back at this week's anti-Shane McMahon promo by Kevin Owens. And we also see Owens' stunner to Shane after last week's main event. We got a video recorded earlier in the day. Backstage, Shane McMahon is with security. He says his guest, Kevin Owens, has arrived, and they know what to do when he walks in any minute now. If things get out of hand, Shane greets Owens and says he heard him loud and clear. Shane says Randy gave him the idea of the first ever SmackDown Town Hall in case the other superstars want to vent. They have some words, and Owens says Shane needs to look at his contract because he's employed by WWE, not Shane. Shane says WWE is owned by his family, and like it or not, he's Owens' boss. Shane says he will not tolerate Owens going out lying about him on TV. Shane gives Owens a night off and tells him he's not allowed in the building. Momentarily, Shane tells Owens goodnight as he leaves the building, supposedly. Live from the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts, Tom Phillips welcomes us to the show, chimed in by Corey Graves and Byron Saxon. Well, the entire Blue Brand roster is on stage. Shane is in the ring. We cut to a video package with highlights from The Undertaker and Roman Reigns versus Shane and Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules. We come back and Greg Hamilton gives a kind introduction to Shane as he takes it all in while posing in the corner. Shane takes the mic and says, "You suck," chant he takes the mic as a "You suck" chant starts up for the crowd. Shane says Kevin Owens has a night off and he's not allowed in the building, but Owens did give him the idea for the first ever town hall. Shane says he will be happy to listen to any superstar as long as they are respectful. Shane says, "Let's get started," and asks who wants to go first. Roman Reigns finally steps up to the mic for a pop. Reigns says Shane doesn't get it. No one in this room respects him. As far as diplomacy goes, Shane can kiss Reigns' butt. Fans pop for that. Shane says that's not exactly respectful, so Reigns will be fined, and Shane will deal with him later. Fans boo. Shane asks if anyone else wants to go. He calls Charlotte Flair to the mic and says she always has something to say. Flair kisses up to Shane and says, "From one family to another, thank you." She says the McMahon family has been nothing but gracious to her since the day she was born, and it makes her sick that Owens would take advantage of her kindness. Liv Morgan steps up to the mic and interrupts, asking Flair to stop being a phony for once in her life. Liv asks if there's anything real about Flair. Flair asks who she is and if she even works here. Flair says because we're all born with blue tongues, and she didn't even know Liv worked here until Owens belched her name out last week. Liv says it's because of people like Flair that people like her don't get opportunities. Shane cuts her off. Shane calls Buddy Murphy to the mic. Buddy says Owens did mention his name last week, but he doesn't need Owens to fight his battles. Murphy says Owens should keep his name out of his mouth before it gets slapped. Shane is impressed and says he will be talking with Buddy later, and he's no longer the best kept secret. Shane calls Apollo Crews to the mic next. Crews says everyone agrees with what Owen said last week. Zelina Vega and Andrade taking the mic next. Vega doesn't appreciate that Crews is trying to kiss up to the WWE Universe right now. Vega challenges Crews to face Andrade tonight. Andrade speaks in Spanish and yells at Crews. The guitar hits and out comes Elias to the front. He starts his promo, but the new SmackDown Tag Team Champion Big E and Xavier Woods stop him, calling him the biggest jackass in history. The WWE Champion Kofi Kingston won't say he likes Owens, but because they don't. But he is making good points. Kofi points to how long it took him to get a WWE title shot. Kofi says everyone on the stage has potential to do great things, but Shane isn't giving opportunities. Kofi's mic is cut off, and Shane apologizes. Shane says he thought the meeting went well. It was a great start. He thanks everyone for coming and says the first SmackDown Town Hall has concluded. Shane's music hits out, and the roster starts to go to the back. Cesaro comes down the ramp with a mic and says he has something to say. Shane says Cesaro is on Raw, and that's why he's here. Cesaro says he's here under the wildcard rule, and he's here to issue a challenge. Cesaro challenges Aleister Black to pick a fight with him in a rematch from the WWE Extreme Rules. Shane makes the match official. Shane goes on speaking when Owen suddenly appears behind him in the ring. Fans start cheering. Shane turns around. It looks like Shane botches in a purse, but Owen drops him with a stunner. Owen retreats to the crowd as fans cheer him on. Owen stops on the stairs with the crowd and stares at Shane as he recovers in the ring. Back to commercial. And your match is up next. First match of the night, Cesaro versus Aleister Black. I was catching it on my feed, but it just stalled the whole entire show. I could not get it to do anything. So back from the break, Aleister Black comes out with a big entrance. Cesaro was out next for the Extreme Rules rematch. Bell rings and they go at it with Black nailing strikes to start. Cesaro fights back with uppercuts. Black with a kick to the gut, and then a kick to drop Cesaro, sending him out. Black goes to leap out, but stops and puts the brakes on, taking a seat in the middle of the ring. Black stares out at Cesaro. We're going to commercial as the screen splits. Back from the break, they trade strikes in the middle of the ring. Black drops Cesaro with chops and a sweep. Black with a sliding knee as the fans cheer him on. Black goes on and hits a moonsault for a close 2 count. Black charges with a knee, but Cesaro dodges it and hits a big uppercut in the corner. Cesaro rocks Black and drops him with a big boot. Cesaro ends up with a crossface applied in the middle of the ring. The hold is broken as Black ends up hitting a big knee to the jaw. Cesaro goes down. Black sizes Cesaro up and hits the big Black mass kick for the pin to win. After the match, Black stands tall as music hits. We go to replays. Dolph Ziggler backstage with Shane McMahon. Ziggler wants to teach Kevin Owens a lesson, but Shane says he's probably long gone by now. Ziggler thinks he can get Owens to come back for the main event. Shane tells him to do it, and the match will be on. We see Charlotte Flair walk into the ring for a match with Liv Morgan. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we see Daniel Bryan's post-Extreme Rules promo where he said he has to go where he's never gone before. Liv Morgan versus Charlotte Flair. We go to the ring. Out first comes Charlotte Flair. Liv Morgan was out next. Liv poses on the ropes as Flair stares her down from the corner. The bell rings and they size each other up. They lock up and Flair shoves Liv to the mat and talks some trash. Liv ducks an attack and unloads with strikes. Liv with her hurricane takedown for a pop. Liv with a missile drop kick to keep the momentum going. Liv poses on the mat and sticks her tongue out at Flair, taunting her while she's down. Flair gets up and charges, but Liv grabs her. Flair knocks Liv down with a back elbow. Flair keeps Liv down and works her over, using the second rope. As the referee warns her, Flair with a big chops out. Liv counters the move and nails it insecurity. Liv screams out and hits a big double stomp to the back of the head in the corner, and Liv gets a close 2 count. Liv runs the ropes and leaps, but Flair grabs her in midair and drops her with a powerbomb. Flair applies the figure 4 and bridges into the figure 8 for the submission win. After the match, Flair stands tall as music plays. We go to replays. Flair makes her exit as Liv gets a bit emotional on the apron as Graves talks about her performance. Liv goes over and snatches the headset from Graves. She says, Charlotte was right, and when I come back, I'm going to be real. Liv walks off, leaving a shocked Graves. We see Dolph Ziggler in the back with the referee, Jake Works. Ziggler gets Kevin Owens' phone number from Jake and walks off. We see Ember Moon backstage walking, back to commercial. Ember and Bayley in tag team action against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. Back from the ring, out comes Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville first. Ember was out next. It's time to find out who her mystery partner is. Out comes SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. For a pop, we see how Bayley retained over Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss in the 2-on-1 handicap match at Extreme Rules. The bell rings and Rose and Deville both unload on Bayley to start. Referee tries to restore order early on as Deville is still in the ring. Deville with a big knee to Bayley as Rose covers for a 2 count. Deville finally exits the ring as Rose unloads on Bayley. The referee backs her off and yells at him. Bayley finally drops Rose and tags in Moon. Moon goes right to work on Rose, taking her frustration on her. Moon with kicks in the corner. Moon goes to the top. Deville runs in, but Bayley drops her with a Bayley to belly suplex. Moon goes off the top with an eclipse on Rose for the pin and the win. After the match, Bayley and Ember stand tall as Ember's music hits. We go to replays. Taylor Braxton enters the ring and asks Bayley about her challenger for SummerSlam. She says she's glad her chapter with Alexa Bliss has ended, so she can get back to her original plan to elevate the women's division. Bayley wants to face someone who's worthy of a shot, who has charisma, who she's never faced before, who would be dedicated to the title if they win. Bayley looks at Moon, and Kayla asks her if she's up for it. Moon accepts the challenge, and it looks like we might have a match for SummerSlam. They celebrate as Moon's music hits to end the segment. Still to come, Kabuki Warriors versus WWE Tag Team Champions, the Iconics. Title shot. WWE Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura is backstage with Charlie. Nakamura says he's now free to rain down chaos on the whole WWE Universe. Ali walks up and congratulates him. Ali walks away and Nakamura stares at him. We see Daniel Bryan and Reuion backstage walking. Bryan has a career-altering announcement up next. We go back to commercial. Back from the ring, out comes New Day, Kofi Kingston, and new SmackDown Tag Team Champions Big E and Xavier. They all congratulate each other for the big wins at Extreme Rules. Big E mocks Daniel Bryan and his announcements. Big E goes on to accept Bryan's tag team title rematch, before he even asks for it. The music hits, out comes Bryan with Reuion to the stage. Bryan looks to speak, but he's changed his mind. He turns and walks to the back as the New Day looks on from the ring. Graves says they have spoiled Bryan's announcement. Bryan comes walking back out with Reuion. He looks angry but ready to speak. Bryan turns back around and walks to the back again. Bryan and Reuion come walking out for a third time. Fan chant for the New Day as Bryan goes to speak. He doesn't speak, but he looks around at the crowd again. And at the New Day, Bryan drops the mic and just walks to the back again as fans boo. Music hits, out comes Samoa Joe as the New Day look on from the ring. Joe says it seems Bryan isn't in the mood for championship opportunities, but he is. Joe knocks Woods and Big E and challenges Kofi to put the title on the line tonight. Fans cheer. Joe waits for an answer. Music interrupts and out comes Elias. Elias says, with all due respect, Joe had his chance at Extreme Rules and it didn't work out. Elias says if anyone is primed and ready to take the title from Kofi, he is. Music hits, out comes Randy Orton to join Elias and Joe on the stage. Next is Orton says it's been a while since he had a title around his waist, so he thinks he's going to take it from Kofi. And he's going to do it with the 3 most dangerous letters in WWE RKO. Elias says they can't all have title matches tonight, but us 3 can send a message to the other 3 in the ring. New Day asks if that's a challenge. They huddle and discuss. Then accept the match, play up. Orton says he's good on a 6-man. Orton turns around and walks to the back. Kofi takes the mic and taunts Orton, calling him a little limp. Orton stomps and listens, then turns back around. Orton marches to the ring and his music hits. We go to commercial. So that match is up next. New Day versus Elias, Samoa Joe, and Randy Orton. Back from the ring, Elias locks up with Kofi. Kofi drops Elias first for a 2 count. Randy provides a distraction, allowing Elias to hit Kofi from behind. Samoa Joe tags in and unloads on Kobe in the corner. Joe keeps control and whips Kobe hard into another corner. Kobe comes back and drops Joe with knees for a 2 count. Kobe then mounts offense and tags in Xavier for the double teaming. Woods with a flying elbow drop as Big E tags in. Big E runs the ropes and slashes Joe for a 2 count. Joe fights off Big E and comes in. In comes Elias. Big E catches Elias in a double stretch and spanks him. Big E slams Elias. Woods comes back in for another double team as Big E wheelbarrows him on top of Elias for a 2 count. Woods keeps control of Elias and hits a honor roll for a 2 count. Orton with a big cheap shot to Woods as the referee is distracted with Elias. Elias unloads on Woods in the corner now. Elias drops Woods with another elbow for a 2 count. Elias then mounts Woods and then tosses him out to the floor. Go to commercial, the screen splits. More back and forth between the two teams after the break. Elias climbs up for a superplex on Woods, but Woods sends him to the mat. Woods flies out with a missile drop kick. Fans rally for the New Day now. Orton tags in. Orton tags in as Kobe springboards in to take him down. Kobe drops Joe off the apron and goes back to unload on Orton now. Fans are cheering Kobe on as he drops Orton hits a boom drop in the middle of the ring. Kobe waits for Orton to get up. Orton blocks Trouble in Paradise. Kobe blocks the RKO. Kobe sidesteps and hits a crossbody for a 2 count. As Elias breaks it up, broke up the pinfall. Big E runs in with a belly to belly on Elias. Joe levels Big E with a clothesline. Woods attacks Joe and sends him over the top rope to the floor. Woods runs the ropes and leaves out, taking Joe down to the floor again as fans pop. Woods comes right back and tangles with Elias on the apron. Joe pulls Woods off the apron down to the floor. Joe finds a go-killer clutch on the floor as Woods fades. Big E comes over, but Elias drops him on the floor with a knee. Elias comes back in the ring, but Kobe nails him with Trouble in Paradise and sends him back out. Orton comes in and drops Kobe with the RKO for the pin and the win. Any type of match, well, Orton is going to get a title shot. After the match, Orton stands tall as music hits. We go to replays. We come back to Orton standing tall over Kobe in the ring, looking down at him. So in the come segment, Owens versus Ziggler in the main event. We see the Kabuki Warriors backstage walking with Paige. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Carmella is looking for WWE 24/7 champion R-Truth backstage. He's hiding in what looks like an old washing machine, and apparently he's stuck. As he tries to jump out of it, Carmella helps him out. Carmella suggests Cruz go to Comic-Con to hide out from potential challengers. Well, he's confused. It looks like they're going to San Diego Comic-Con. As R-Truth said, he's not a con anymore. He's been to jail. Spend his time. In that segment. Well, they just walk off after that. Women's Tag Team title match. Kabuki Warriors versus the Iconics are up next. We go to the ring. Both teams are already in the ring. Asuka and Kairi Sane with Paige. Women's Tag Team Champions Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are out next. Former ring introduction from Greg Hamilton. Royce disrespects Sane to start, but backfires. Sane takes control, and Asuka comes in for a double team. Double team continues on Royce, and Asuka covers for a 2 count. Royce dodges the rear view. Royce, it's nothing more than a hip attack. Royce with a kick and a tag to Kay. Kay comes in and covers Asuka for a 2 count. Asuka ends up dropping Kay with a big kick, and she screams out and goes to the floor. Royce checks on Kay at ringside as the referee counts. Kay goes to slowly re-enter the ring at the 8 count, but Royce pulls her back off the apron, so they get counted out, but still retain their titles. Winner by count out, Asuka and Kairi Sane. After the match, Asuka and Sane aren't happy with the finish as they look on with Paige. They attack the Iconics at ringside. They launch Kay into the barrier. Asuka brings Royce back into the ring and levels her with a big kick to the head. Sane goes up top and nails the insane elbow on Royce. We see Andrade and Zelina Vega backstage walking, and they're having their match up next. Andrade versus Apollo Crews. After the break, out first comes Andrade with Zelina Vega. Apollo is out next. Andrade attacked Crews as he enters the ring before the bell. Vega cheers him on. The referee backs Andrade into his corner, and Crews is laid out face down. Crews tells the referee he's good to go, and we get the bell. Andrade attacks Crews as soon as the bell hits, beating him into the corner. Andrade drops Crews again and mounts him. Andrade stuns Crews and drops him with another back elbow. Andrade charges with double knees in the corner as Vega cheers him on. Crews grabs Andrade and rolls him up out of nowhere for the pin and the win. And I did actually catch that finish of that match on the thing. I hit live feed once, and right after that, it started scrolling back like it did on the Monday night one. As I had to go to a different website because it wasn't even showing on the one I normally go to. Streams to watch. After the match, Vega and Andrade are shocked. Cruz makes his exit as his music plays, raising his arm in the air. Announcers look back at Bray Wyatt's surprise return from Raw and attack Finn Balor in the ring. We see Dolph Ziggler walking backstage for the main event. Tom previously noted that Kevin Owens was on his way back to the arena. We'll go to commercial. Dolph Ziggler versus Kevin Owens is for your main event. Back to the ring. Out first comes Ziggler for tonight's main event. Kevin Owens was out next, looking over his shoulders for an attack. Bell rings and Ziggler goes right for a super kick. Owens goes for a center, but they both block. Ziggler goes to the floor to regroup, but Owens lays him out. Owens talks trash and brings Ziggler back in. Owens goes for the big senton, but Ziggler gets his knees up. Ziggler nails the famous on Owens and gets a 2 count. Ziggler keeps control with elbows and shots to the heart for more pin attempts. Ziggler applies a crossface submission and keeps Owens grounded. Ziggler with a neck breaker for a 2 count. Ziggler talks more trash while taking Owens back to the mat in the middle of the ring. So we get some wrestling action. Ziggler keeps control and prevents momentum by Owens. Ziggler with a big DDT for another pin attempt. Fans rallying for Owens now. Ziggler misses in the corner and Owens drops him into a super kick. Owens goes back to the top and this time he nails the senton. Ziggler kicks out. Shane McMahon comes walking out with a bunch of heel superstars, including Drew McIntyre, Elias, and the V-Team. Also the Pains, Andrade, Cesaro, Samoa Joe, Shelton Benjamin, and others. They all surround the ring, so we got now could be turned into a lumberjack match. Owens is distracted, allowing Ziggler to hit the zigzag from behind for a 2 count. Owens goes head first into the post in the corner. Owens manages to slap Ziggler in the face, but Ziggler unloads and beats him down as the referee stops him. Ziggler then sends Owens into the ring post again. Ziggler goes for a super kick, but Owens avoids it and drops Ziggler with a stunner. Owens covers for the pin to win, but Shane pulls Owens out of the ring to break the pin. Owens then drops Shane on the floor with a stunner. Owens retreats up the ramp to the back as a group of heel superstars chase him. We see Shane coughing and trying to recover on the floor as we go to replays. We come back to Drew taking on Shane at ringside. Kayla Braxton approaches him for comments. Shane says Owens is going to pay for this. He's going to pay bad. Shane limps off with Drew right at his side. They head up the ramp and SmackDown goes off the air. Recap of Sunday's Extreme Rules Cruiserweight Championship match. Starts off 205 Live between Drew Gulak and former champion Tony Nese, where Gulak was able to successfully defend his title after connecting with his new torture rack neck breaker finisher. After a brutal bout, cut to Gulak. He says for months Nese was looked upon as the top guy in the 205 Live division and it made him sick. He claimed that Nese lacked the intensity it took to be the top guy and that he's erased any doubt that he belongs in that spot. Welcome to my 205 Live, as he growled, Gulak ending the segment. And we get the 205 Live intro song. Vic Joseph, Nigel McGinnis in English, welcoming us to another edition of 205 Live. Tonight from Worcester, Massachusetts, they hike the evening's main event, a rematch between Chad Gable and Jack Gallagher. I did see a video of that, and the announcers were calling him Jack Gallagher. No, her. Gallagher. Akira Tozawa, along with Brian Kendrick, was out for the opening match. He'll be facing Samir Singh, who was accompanied by his brother Sunil. Akira Tozawa versus Samir Singh. Samir opens things up by stomping Tozawa to the mat. He taunts him with a big dance. He suffers a huge chop for his actions. Strong jab takes Samir off of his feet. Stomps from Tozawa. Samir baits him in and whips him into the turnbuckles face first. More dancing. He chokes Tozawa with a boot, using the ropes as leverage. Hard Irish whip. Tozawa hits the corner hard. Samir comes off the ropes. Tozawa with a spin kick to the gut. He picks Samir up. He plants him with a modified Samoan drop, sending Samir to the outside. Tozawa to the apron. Running cannonball takes Samir out. Back in the ring, Tozawa climbs. Sunil distracts him on the outside. Tozawa doesn't lose focus. He rolls Samir up. Got him. pinfall. Okay, Tozawa. After the match, Singh brothers beat down Tozawa. They go at it. They go to hit Tozawa with one of the Oscar statues, but Brian Kendrick stops the attack, and Kendrick and Tozawa stand tall, with Tozawa holding the Oscar statue high as if he's won it. Commentary takes us to a video package of Humberto Carrillo. Clips of Carrillo in action are shown, including highlights of his work in NXT and 205 Live. Carrillo narrates, saying that he's been with WWE for over a year, and that the only thing on his mind is the Cruiserweight Championship. Commercial for tomorrow's Thursday's NXT, featuring Adam Cole defending the NXT Championship for the first time since his victory at TakeOver 25. Mike Kellos makes his way out for the next bout. His wife Maria is nowhere to be seen. He'll be facing an unknown person. Kellos with a big boot. He lights up the chest of the unknown. Big spine buster for Canellis. Huge running lariat. Another one. He picks up unknown up. Rolling cutter. It's over. Winner by pinfall. Canellis. Canellis continues assaulting unknown after the bell. He grabs the microphone and begs Jake Maverick to give him another fine. Maverick comes out and the two have a confrontation in the ring. Canellis tells Maverick that he could have re-signed with any promotion he wanted, but he decided to stay with WWE because he wanted to prove to his wife that he is the best in the world. To become the Cruiserweight Champion to kick Maverick's butt, Maverick responds by naming all the 205 Live wrestlers who came before him, who earned their spot and didn't force their own agenda. Canellis pokes fun at Maverick for losing the 24/7 championship and calls Maverick a joke for embarrassing the brand. Canellis adds on by calling Maverick short and says that a real man would accept a real fight. Canellis goes to call Maverick's wife a name. Maverick with a right hand. Canellis goes for a lariat. Maverick ducks. Drop kick by Maverick sends Canellis out of the ring. Canellis slowly walks up the ramp, smiling. Maverick seems disappointed in himself for getting physical. Preview for Raw Reunion. Flashback to last week's main event when One Lorcan defeated Area Daivari in a wild anything goes bout. Main event time. Jack Gallagher is out first, followed by 205 Live's newest acquisition, Chad Gable. Here we go. So we get sent down to the purple brand, whatever it's called, green brand, whatever. Chad Gable versus Jack Gallagher. Tie up, Gable to take down chinlock. Gallagher rolls up and applies a wrist lock. Gable to sack Mary in response. Headlock by Gallagher escapes with a typical swagger. They reset. Gable with a wrist lock this time. Gallagher with an athletic reversal. Pace picks up. Gable goes for the power bomb, but Gallagher turns it into an arm drag. Cheers from the audience for technical displays by both men. Waistlock takedown from Gable. Gallagher bounces off the ropes and takes Gable down with a shoulder bump. He catches Gable in the fireman's carry and drops him throat first across the top ring ropes. More grappling. Gable off the ropes, jumping arm drag. He rolls Gallagher up. 2 count. Deep arm drag, followed by an arm submission by Gable. Another escape by Gallagher, who ties up Gable's arms with a modified triangle head scissors. Gable shows off his strength and slams Gallagher to the mat. Gable turns up the intensity with stiff uppercuts. He cranks at Gallagher's ankle, twisting and contorting it. Gallagher breaks up the hold with a boot. Gallagher makes him pay with a hard whip into the turnbuckles. Gallagher off the ropes again. Gable catches him with an overhead, belly to belly. He targets Gallagher's leg. Dragon screw. He tries to turn Gallagher for a single crab. Gallagher kicks his way out. Gallagher nearly steals the win with a backslide. Drop kick from Gallagher, followed by a huge right hand. He picks Gable up, stalling vertical suplex. Gable goes for another belly to belly. Gallagher transitioned into a Kimura lock, but Gable eventually broke free. And by the way, the video that I did see, Gallagher had him up. It wasn't all the way vertical. It was more like with an angle and held him there. Middle rope drop kick by Gallagher. He sends Gable to the outside. Fake suicide dive. Tosses him into the barricade. He goes for a suicide dive this time. Gable catches him and hits a high angle German suplex. Gable throws Gallagher back in the ring as he does not want to win by countout. Back in the ring, Gallagher catches him in an inside cradle. 2 count. Gable applies an ankle lock. Got her right into the center. He managed to escape with a hammer fist. Big overhead kick by Gable. Got her with a rebound headbutt. Covers. Gable still alive. They slap each other, back and forth striking. Got her wins the exchange and unloads with furious strikes. He goes for the corner drop kick. Gable has it scouted. Dominator DDT. Got her somehow kicks out. Fans are on their feet. Gable can't believe it. He climbs to the top rope. Moonsault attempt. Got her gets the feet up. Gable falls to the corner. Running drop kick connects. Covers. Gable got his foot on the ropes. He puts Gable on the top rope for a back suplex. Gable elbows Galler off. Galler back up. Back suplex. Gable falls onto Galler. He picks up Galler up. O'Connor roll. German. It's over. What a match. Gable wins by pinfall for your main event. Commentary gives Gable and Gallagher a standing ovation. And even the crowd does it as well. Gable and Gallagher shake hands out of respect for each other. And that's the show for 205 Live Dark Main Event. After this week's 205 Live only had one match from DCU Center in Washington, Massachusetts, seeing Roman Reigns defeat Drew McIntyre in singles action. And that concludes my SmackDown 205 Live results for this week. And so that's my show. That's the way it is for this week's 7/15/2019 show.